Good morning, everyone! I bought almost 40 books in the month of March, so I've made my iced coffee and I'm gonna do
a book haul.
I don't know how long this is gonna take, but we're a team. You're staying until the routine is clean.
Whether it takes 2 hours or 4 hours, I don't care. If you're part of this team, you're staying until the routine is clean.
Alright, so just to start the haul and rip it off like a band-aid, I did order 6 books from Amazon this month. I really try not to order from Amazon, but for books that I feel like I need to read immediately, are really expensive in other places, and unfortunately it's still a pandemic, I don't feel super comfortable going out to bookstores and buying, I will buy from Amazon if I have to. I use my parents' Prime account. Does that count? So I'm not contributing as much to the nightmare that is Jeff Bezos. I don't know. I try not to feel guilty about it. There's no ethical consumption under capitalism, but anyways, I bought 6 books. Well, one is a series, so maybe 9 books from Amazon this month. So let's get into those now. The first book I bought, very highly recommended on BookTok, is The Demon King by Cinda Chima. This is a young adult fantasy. I do believe it's an enemies to lovers, and I'm really excited to read this just because of the hype on BookTok. I have had some disappointments from BookTok, but this one is consistently recommended, and so I snatched it up when I was placing an Amazon order. One of the other reasons that I'll order from Amazon is when I'm doing joint reads with my friends. So basically I need the book like the next day because my friends are going to start the book and I want to be able to read it with them. And this is one of those books. It is a new release. It is Twice Shy by Sarah Hogle. This is the same author as You Deserve Each Other, which is a book I highly recommend. I read it on my Kindle last month and it was such a fun read. It was like an enemies to lovers, but they were already engaged and they were enemies, and the banter was great, the spice was great, and so my friend wanted to read the second book by this author for our book club for the month of April, and I picked it up. So the next book I actually bought the entire series. The first book I got from Amazon because I found the second and third book on Book Outlet, and I obviously needed the first in order to read the second and third, and that is the Graceling series by Kristin Cashore. This is another young adult fantasy that I'm super excited to read. Peruse Project, one of my favorite YouTubers on here, has recommended it a lot. Another series I'm super excited to start because it comes highly recommended on both BookTube and BookTok is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. I had no clue what this was about. I'm surprised to find out that Gideon is the name of a woman, and this is apparently marketed as lesbian necromancers in space. So that makes me want to read it so much more because I'm like, what does that even mean? So the next book I had to read, I read it both for my book club and because the third one is about to come out, was A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I got it in the mail, started reading it the next day, and finished it the day after that. I didn't like this one as much as the first. I found it kind of slow and repetitive, a lot of internal monologue on behalf of Poppy. And then lastly, I bought the box set, so the 3 books in the Clockwork Prince series by Cassandra Clare. I was avoiding reading these for the longest time because, like most girls in middle school, I picked up Cassandra Clare's first series, which is the City of Ashes, City of Bone trilogy, I believe. I'm not even sure. And had to stop reading it because it had an incest plotline. Because why did she do that? So anyways, I kind of wrote off Cassandra Clare as like a little freak, and people apparently really like her books, at least not the ones in the series that I read, so I picked up this trilogy, The Clockwork Prince. Alright, next up, before I dive into my insane amount of book outlet orders, is my book of the month picks. So my monthly pick this month was The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I'm so excited. I wanted to read this before it was even announced as a book of the month read because it is the author of Beach Read, which is a book I really loved reading last summer. I'm really excited to read this. I believe it's like a friends to lovers, maybe a bit of an enemies to lovers book, but either way I have super high hopes after Beach Read and I'm super excited to read it. So my 2 add-ons were just books that I saw and I had been excited to read, and they are new releases. They're only $9.99, which is way cheaper than Amazon even. So the first one I picked up is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. I'm super excited for this. This is a young adult fantasy. It is set in 1800s in Paris. Second add-on that I got from Book of the Month is a young adult romance. It is Yes, No, Maybe So. I had to pick this book up because before I went to law school I worked in politics, and the setting of this book is 2 kids going around neighborhoods canvassing for some political election and slowly falling in love, and that premise was just so absolutely intoxicating to me that I knew I had to buy it the moment that I read it. Now we get into my kryptonite, which is my book outlet orders. I am addicted to book outlet. If you aren't in a rush to get books, if you don't mind waiting like sometimes a month for them to get delivered, this is my favorite book purchasing place. Every morning I wake up, I get my phone, I go bookoutlet.com because they stock every night. I don't know what time, but it's always restocked every single time I wake up. And I just scroll through all the new releases and see if there are any on my TBR. I add whatever's on my TBR to my cart. I don't know why I'm explaining online shopping to you. Anyways, most of the hardcovers are like $5 or $6 and most of the soft covers are like $3 or $4, and they have very popular books that are just overstocked at either like Target, Barnes & Noble. I've also never had any issues with books coming in bad conditions. The most is like there will maybe be a marking on the spine from whatever store marked it as overstock or to be sent to book outlet, but I haven't had like bent covers. I haven't had any issues with how presentable the books are at all. So let's get into all the books that I bought on book outlet this month. The first book that I bought is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. This is another book that I feel is only on my radar because people on BookTok are talking about it literally so much. The next book I got off of book outlet is a hardcover, and it is Skyhunter by Marie Lu, and it's actually really nice quality. It has Skyhunter on the sides. I don't know if that means it's like a special edition or what, but it was like $7, so obviously I got it. This is the first Marie Lu book that I've read. I haven't read it yet. This is the first Marie Lu book that I've purchased. The next book is The Girl He Used to Know by Tracey Garvis Graves. That is a tongue twister. This is a contemporary romance. See, here's one with the sticker still on it. This was originally from Walmart for $13.50 and I got it for like $3 on book outlet. But the next book is Head Over Heels by Hannah Orenstein. This is a contemporary romance. For some reason I thought it was young adult, I think just because of the cover, but it's not. It follows somebody who's in their 20s, which is really exciting for me because I'm in my 20s, so that's always good. The next book is also a young adult fantasy. It is There Will Come a Darkness by Katy Rose Poole. I am interested in this because it kind of reminds me of Six of Crows in the case that it has 5 different POVs that are constantly shifting and you don't know how they are really connected. Although on the other hand, I feel like that's really hard to do, as well as Leigh Bardugo did, so I hope this book can pull it off. Alright, the next thing that I got from book outlet is one of the books I've already read because I was so excited to read it, and that is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. I absolutely love this book. I need to order the sequel because I've heard the sequel might even be better than the first, but it is a Regency romance. It filled the Bridgerton-sized hole that was left in my heart after watching the TV show. Next, I also got Fable by Adrienne Young. This is a young adult fantasy that also comes highly recommended from BookTok. Yeah, I don't really know what this book is about. Next, the first Brandon Sanderson book that I've bought, and the first one that I may ever read, Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I'm really trying to get into big epic fantasies, but I'm so scared. So this is like my attempt to transition into Brandon Sanderson because I believe this is just a young adult sci-fi book. It's only a 2-parter in the series, a duology. Next, I got The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes by Alyssa R. Sloan. This was a Book of the Month book that I ended up not grabbing just because there was, I guess, something else I wanted more that month. The premise of this book sounds super interesting. I will give trigger warnings for depression and suicide. I also got The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett. I'm actually not sure. I've read books by Jen Bennett, I think, but they're like contemporary young adult books. I think this is the same author as who wrote Alex Approximately. Oh, it has a map. I don't know. It actually doesn't say. Maybe this is one of her first books. I'll let you guys know. I also grabbed The Dreamers by Karen Thompson Walker. I actually didn't really know what this book was about, but I did know that it had been recommended to me. It follows an isolated college town in Southern California. Excited to read it because I live in Southern California. We'll see how they talk about it. This is a book I picked up because it was recommended, and reading about it I'm actually not sure if it's going to be like my style, but either way it is The Lonely Hearts Hotel by Heather O'Neill. And then I got The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I haven't read any books by her, but I've seen this as a pretty recommended contemporary romance. So I finally bought, I actually have no clue how to pronounce this. Scythe? I think it's Scythe. Scythe. I bought Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Next, I picked up The Boys Club by Erica Katz. This is actually one of the books I didn't get off of booktok. Woo, good job! My friend recommended that I read this because it follows a lawyer like me. I then got I Am Still Alive by Alice Kate. Oh my god, I just switched the first and last name. Kate Alice Marshall. This is not the kind of book that I normally read, but it sounded so interesting that I had to get it. I don't even know, like, survivalism does not really call to me. In fact, like, the idea of it really stresses me out, but this book sounds crazy. And I will report back because I haven't seen many people talking about it. Alright, I also got This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I say that I love Victoria Schwab, but my secret is that I've only ever read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy and just have never read it. But this is one of her young adult novels. Also, something that I don't normally get is I grabbed a short story, a sci-fi short story, and it is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Matar and Max Gladstone. Every single review of this says that it is so confusing and amazing, so I can't really find anything that actually describes what this book is about. I also got One by One by Ruth Ware. It's funny because I've gotten this book from multiple people as a gift but never bought it for myself or read it. So I guess I'll read it now. I really do like Ruth Ware, so it's like safe to buy books for people because I know that she's a great writer. I also got Things in Jars by Jess Kidd. I'm not super sure what it's about, but I was told it was magical, so I was like, okay, add to cart. Second to last book! Oh my god, I'm actually getting sad. I thought this was going to take so much longer. I got When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk. I'm so excited for this because it is about a friendship breakup, and I never read books about friendship breakups, and like, to be honest, boys that I've broken up with, I literally never think about. I could go months without thinking of like the person I dated when I was 18, but I can only go hours without thinking of like friendships that just like fell apart tragically because like it's a big deal and it needs to be talked about more. So this is about a friendship breakup and I am bumping it to the top of my to-read list because I'm very excited for it. And the last book in the haul! Oh my god! It is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I did accidentally order the large print edition, so I guess this can be like the book that I read at night in low lighting because it's large print. Alright, thanks for sticking with me. That is it for my book haul. This is hopefully the largest haul I will ever have because I live in a studio apartment and I have to hide my book packages when they get delivered during the day while my boyfriend is at work. But who am I kidding? I'll probably keep ordering more. Let me know if you want more book hauls. Let me know which of these books I should read first because I actually have decision fatigue and cannot decide which to read first, and I'll probably just panic until A Crown of Gilded Bones comes out and read that anyways. So I hope you liked it. If you are new to my channel, please like and subscribe. I literally hate saying that. I don't know, I'm having a breakdown on camera right now. Okay, bye! Talk to you later!